in the middle of the night, in my dreams. You should see the things we shoot, baby. That's right, baby. It is the Shoot Brothers podcast, the only podcast hosted by myself, Mike the Shoot Shepherd, and Cameron. Are you ready for it, Osborne?
Baby.
Baby. Oh, I should have said that. Would have been better. Oh, well, we're here. But where is Adam Cole?
Baby.
What I've heard is he is a free agent as of this very moment. But, I mean, Sunday's coming. There's a big pay-per-view. There's already names that are rumored to show up. I think that might be too much if Adam Cole's topped that. But anyways, we're here to talk about everything wrestling related and more. I mean, it certainly is tilted in one company's favor this week. But hey, let's do everything. Why don't we kick off the show with?
Let's just do it all. Mike, because, that's exactly right. We're here for professional wrestling, and let's just kick off the show. Because these days, we don't have time to pussyfoot around like the old days. You know, remember when it was Raw, Smackdown, quick little maybe NXT. But no, this has evolved into something outside of our control. This is way out of our hands now. We are in the thick of this. This is episode 146. Coming up on episode 150.
150. That's, the original Pokedex, 150. That's a significant number.
Big number in the original Pokedex. You are right there. 151 will also be a big episode. And I think every week, you know what? I should do the math on this because this, the records are definitely kept for the way we're going to kick off our show. Because this is episode 146, which I guess that means that the this championship has traded hands 146 times, maybe. Ooh, those fucking jets are flying over the city right now. Those ones that always pop up at the CNE.
Wow. Do they have like trails?
I just saw the 6 of them. What are they called again? Shit, cannot remember. I just saw them popping out my window, and the
Blue Angels,
something like that. And whatever they're called, I see the chemtrails falling down upon this great city as we present to you a brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. I don't know, but they did it last year, I think, too, just because, to boost morale.
Pandemic, I guess.
Because, that's the thing. Where is Al? I don't know, but we need more.
I guess Wonderland's open, so why not CNE, I guess?
Absolutely no idea. But this week's Tweet of the Week champion, okay, so I guess we've had 2 shooties.
Yes.
So that would mean that we probably didn't have a Tweet of the Week champion on a shooty episode. So there's probably been 144 Tweet of the Week champions. I want to say we've been doing Tweet of the Week from the very beginning, but I'll have to do the math on that.
Yeah, I feel like there may be a couple in here and there that maybe we just forgot. Remember, like you said, 1 or 2 weeks, I forgot to give you my wrestler of the week or something.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I definitely know that once I forgot Tweet of the Week champion, but then I also remember one week where the belt was stolen halfway through the episode. So maybe kind of made up for it. Yeah, there was one week where we skipped over your wrestler of the week. I think I led you into it,
and here's the award. And you're like, whoops, forgot it this week.
Yeah, it was something like, you started with, hey, give me your wrestler. You told me to give me my wrestler of the week, and I think I said AJ Styles. And then we just kind of kept going, and then you're like, oh, that's it. or something to that effect. I don't remember. But this week's Tweet of the Week champion, it's the first time their name have graced the halls of this championship, adding to the already superior lineage of the belt. Ripping the Tweet of the Week championship straight from Tommy Dreamer this week is none other than your AEW World Women's Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. First time Tweet of the Week champion, surprisingly, where just a few days ago, earlier on in the week, she was attending the Colorado Springs Comic-Con. with a few other professional wrestlers, and she was at a booth. She was signing merch. She was taking photos, and she kicked off her day with a little video of herself saying, "Hey everybody, here at the Colorado Springs Comic-Con today. Come get an autograph. Come get a photo. Come hear Adam Cole rumors. Baby."
I love it.
I mean, if anyone's got their finger on the pulse when it comes to this current Adam Cole situation, it's not Meltzer, it's not Brian Alvarez, it's Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Yeah. Not only does she have her fingers on the pulse, she's got them down your mouth and your throat with that lockjaw.
With that lockjaw. So there we have it.
And when she's working in her dental office, she's still a practicing dental.
She is still a practicing
dentist.
Whatever level,
dentist.
whatever degree of dentistry that she does.
I think DMD. What is it? It's like dental medical doctor, something like that.
I bet. Well, I bet the word doctor and dental is in that DMD.
Yeah.
Whatever. It works.
But yeah. She said that she's had a strong uprising in new customers, I think. Probably because
I bet. I would 100% would rather, like, all things being equal, I'd rather have Dr. Britt Baker as my dentist.
Yeah.
Like,
if I lived in the area, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to Dr.
Exactly.
Baker.
If it was either, like, Dr. Smith or Dr. Britt Baker, I'm like, yeah, I'd actually much rather do that. That just would be that's a better story.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be sad if you went there and then it was like just her assistant doing everything that day? She wasn't even in the office.
I know. That'd be... that's
like,
well, you should have known, don't book your appointments on Wednesday. You should know this
true.
by
It's
now.
like, damn.
God damn it. Maybe that's it. She'll only be there like Monday and Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Friday or something, right? Every other day she's got to be at work.
She comes in Thursday, her head's all bandaged up.
That would be sick. Imagine like she had to, you had a teeth cleaning the day after that Lights Out unsanctioned match with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. Congratulations to Britt Baker, your AEW World Women's Champion.
And Tweet of the Week champion. Double champ. Congrats.
Belt collector. Let's get into the podcast then, shall we? Let's get into the wrestling week because
Yes.
Sure. Because SmackDown. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait. We used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live. I wanted a better little transition there. Really couldn't think of anything. But this is actually our fallout of SummerSlam. Even though SummerSlam was last week, the way the timing all works out, and it makes sense. Becky Lynch is back.
Yeah, why not kick off with the man? So, new champ comes out. Huge ovation from the crowd. So there's still... most of the people aren't too upset at her, chanting Becky and all that.
And Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where we were this week. I don't know.
Little Dwayne Johnson is where we are. But yeah, she gives her, her promo. I missed you guys. I've been working every day to get back here. And if you thought I was dangerous before fighting for myself, you got no idea how deadly I'm going to be. Fighting for Little Rue, I guess.
Lil Rue. Is that a girl's name? Feels like a girl's name.
Yeah,
okay.
Little girl.
Okay.
Yeah, so she talks about SummerSlam, and she gets some boos for that. And she acknowledges that, it was controversy. And I'm sorry for absolutely nothing. Pulling the old... Wasn't that McGregor who said it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
They're both Irish.
They're both Irish. Ginger,
quote.
I get it.
Anyways, she took her opportunity. She did it. Bianca Belair comes out, and she's like, all right. She gets a huge reaction, so the fans still behind her. Belair's just like, yeah, all right, you got me, but I've been working hard for too long just for you to come erase it all in 26 seconds. So I accepted your last-minute challenge, so how about you take my challenge here tonight? But then Zelina Vega interrupts and says, no, I want that title match. I've lost like every match since I've been back. I deserve it. And then Carmella comes out and she says, yeah, so have I. So let me have a fight. But then Liv Morgan comes out. Wow. So I'm actually happy to see her. And she says, yeah, why the fuck do you think you two deserve a shot? You get beat every week. So, Becky, you want someone? I'm right here. And Carmella's just like, well, you spent the last 2 months in catering. So, anyways, they all just start
We know where this is going, Mike. No, you don't need to dilly-dally. As soon as Zelina Vega came out, you knew exactly where this was going.
Yeah. So, anyways, Becky's just like, not tonight, not fighting any of you. So, a little heel move there. And then the rest of the 4 women get to fight in the fatal 4-way elimination match to determine number 1 contender here. So, of course, Zelina Vega's eliminated right away with the KOD. And then Liv Morgan hits her awesome second rope flatliner move to get rid of Carmella. So, now we're actually getting a good match here with Liv and Bianca. And, Liv actually got a good amount of moves in. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" at one point. So they worked pretty hard, and eventually Bianca hits the KOD, gets the win to earn that title rematch against Becky. The actual match, hopefully.
The actual match. What's weird about this, for me, it feels like Fatal 4-Way is made, Bianca Belair's thrown in there and then wins. It gives me the feeling that she's ready for anything. An impromptu 4-way bout is nothing for her because she's so strong, and she's ready for any surprise that might come her way. Yet she got, kind of rock-bottomed and was gone in 27 seconds. The events of SummerSlam and the events of this evening just give me, 2 completely different Bianca Belairs, and I don't know. It's that kind of, character wishy-washy, which has led to, other stars kind of being put in the rear view before. It's happened before.
Yeah, I get it. But I think it's also quality of competition here is much lower for Bianca.
Okay.
These 3 versus Becky Lynch. But
yeah.
No, I mean, either way, most of us are not happy about what happened to Bianca. So.
Yeah, real weird. And September 21st, 2020 was Zelina Vega's last win. So
yeah, I don't know what their goal is with her, but I guess it's just to keep her away from Malachi.
To keep her away from AEW, but they're not doing that. Yeah. I feel like Zelina Vega sneaked in there right before, that she was sneaked before that second round of releasings. That I feel like she would have been gone by that one. It sort of feels like their stance has been changed and all these other things.
Who knows? But then we go backstage where Paul Heyman is locked out of the Roman Reigns dressing room. And the Usos come out of the door and say, hey, Big Dog ain't here yet. But, hey, Paul, you knew Brock was going to be at SummerSlam, right? And Heyman denies it, and they says, well, why'd you send us back to the locker room before the Cena match? And Heyman's just like, well, actually, that was Reigns that ordered it. They're like, oh, damn. So, some mistrust there. You never fully can trust a Heyman, so.
You never trust a Heyman.
But then we get Cesaro and Chad Gable. I mean, in most promotions, this would be a dream match, but on SmackDown, they only got 3 minutes here. So it was a good 3 minutes, though. Gable hitting some nice suplexes, a moonsault. Cesaro does a top rope hurricanrana. Goes for the big swing, but then Otis hits him, causes the DQ, ruining a good match in the making. And, it's more evil Big Otis.
Yeah, not too long ago, Cesaro was winning at WrestleMania and main eventing pay-per-views with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, but I guess it's clear that that was just a little filler feud for Roman, and that's all they saw.
Yeah.
Even though we love Cesaro.
Filler feud and a little tease for the real fans.
Yeah. But then Baron Corbin arrives in a nice car, and he's all dressed up. He says he's happy Corbin now. He's filthy rich. So he comes out to the ring. He's got this new dance club music, a slot machine in the background, and they officially announce him as Happy Corbin. So that's his name. And he wants to fill us in on how he got this money. Shows us some footage after SummerSlam. He was still in Vegas, took his last $35, went on a hot streak at the casinos. So he's just bragging about being rich. Big E interrupts him, and Corbin's like, I'm sorry, I tried to steal your briefcase. I want to buy it. So I don't know. He's pretty much ripping off Cameron Grimes' money gimmick here. What's
well,
going on?
I was about to say that, and we brought up last week the everybody is rich gimmick, whether it's the Hardy family office, whether it's Cameron Grimes, whether it's Corbin, whether it's Andrade El Diolo. the we have wealth. I don't get it. I don't understand I just don't get how. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and Happy Corbin, I don't know. I feel like he's jumping too many from
He's
King
jumping.
to
That being
Thor
said, though,
to...
the Baron Corbin thing is fun. He did go rags to riches. I like that they've told us. They told us the story of how he got there. Andrade El Diolo just one day showed up and he was like, "Hey, I got the Lucha Brothers a private jet." And you're like, how? How? You were fired 7 months ago. How can you afford this private jet? At least they told us the rags to riches. The way they did with Grimy too. They did tell us how they got there. But Matt Hardy just pulling cash out of his pockets. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Especially because didn't he have to pay Hangman his quarter salary?
This type of shit. Yeah, he had to pay him 15% of his whatever. And oh god.
Anyways, we go backstage again where Roman Reigns arrives, sees Heyman hanging outside the dressing room. He's like, "What are you doing, Paul?" And he opens the door. He's like, "Come on in." So Roman didn't know what was going on. He wasn't part of this bullying.
No.
But back in the ring, we get Nakamura and Rick Boogs taking on the Dirty Dogs. And Boogs looking good again. Looking pretty solid in the ring. Crowd's behind him. Eventually, he gets the hot tag, runs wild, hits the pump handle slam, gets the win. Big win. He pins Dolph Ziggler.
Big win. Oh, not many people have pinned Ziggler before.
And the commentary, he just pinned a world champion or a former champion. I'm like, yeah, it's Dolph
Ziggler. King Nakamura, Rick Boogs, they're our fun mid-card babyface thing right now, I think.
Yeah. I also need to mention, I think Pat McAfee wasn't on the show due to COVID-19.
Yes.
He had. So they had Kevin Owens and I think Corey was there. So didn't quite get the jumping on the table.
That way I'm sure we would have.
Yeah. Then we go backstage again where Naomi appears. Haven't seen her in a long time. She approaches Sonya and says, "Hey, I'm excited to be a member of SmackDown again." And yeah, why not? So she says, "When's my first match?" But Sonya is very blunt with her, just like, to be honest, I didn't even know you were coming to SmackDown. No one okayed that with me. So I'm not sure you're going to measure up. She's like, "What, bitch? I'm a 2-time champ." So Sonya and Pierce, they're not communicating with each other fully. So
I was going to say, has Sonya not seen The Division? It's like, yes,
yeah,
please,
why are you
Naomi, please, fuck.
Yeah,
this is so. Yeah. This is so.
That was stupid decision or stupid remark by Sonya. So, anyways, good to have Naomi here.
Yeah, good to have her back.
And then we go backstage, or we're still backstage. Ray's talking to his son Dominic, and he's just like, "Hey, man, I need to step back, let you fly on your own. Go on a singles run. I got you a match book." And
go on a singles run.
Yeah, go on a singles run. I don't know if he used those words, but basically. So Dominic takes on Sami Zayn, and they have a pretty good match. Eventually, Dom hits the 619, goes for the frog splash, but Sami rolls out of the way, suplexes Dom in the corner, hits the haluva kick to get the win. And then afterwards, Ray goes to help up his fallen son, but Dominic doesn't want his help. So it's the first step in the heel Dominic turn.
Heel Dominic turn. Well, Mike, to me, the most surprising part about this was that Sami Zayn won a match clean without cheating or any form of controversy. I don't know the last time we've seen a Sami Zayn match end with this exact result. So yes, of course, Sami Zayn should have won.
I can get behind that.
Thank you.
Then I guess the final segment, we had Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Heyman. I guess they had their new Bloodline shirt. So I guess that's the official name of the group there.
The Bloodline.
Even though Heyman's not part of it. But he was on the shirt, so this white guy, he's part of the Bloodline. But anyways, they all come out for the celebration for Reigns, and Roman's just telling Heyman what to say, putting over putting over everyone. Finn Balor interrupts, and he's just like, yeah, I got screwed out of that title shot at SummerSlam, and I was going to challenge you for Extreme Rules, but I'm not waiting. I'm challenging you next week on Smackdown for the Universal title. And Reigns accepts it. And then Balor just throws the mic at him and starts to attack him, but gets beaten down 3-on-1 until Street Profits come out to help him. And Balor and the Street Profits stand tall to end the show.
That was a great way to end the show.
A big title match next week. Yeah.
Big title match next week, kind of while also setting up an Usos Profits thing. Profits. Yeah, that's a fresh. We haven't seen that before. That's going to be the battle of the Frog Splash. Who will have the more devastating of the two? And the Street Profits have kind of been away for a little bit now. I think to bring them back as baby, to really kind of give them a babyface push. It's fantastic.
Yeah, this could be a good match. And Extreme Rules, book it.
Oh yes, Extreme Rules. They did an ad for that. I think they had an ad for that during Mania or SummerSlam.
Yeah, they got it. The purple and green logo.
Right.
But that was that.
Can't wait till next week's championship match on live television. Gosh, yeah, they really don't do that too much over there on the Peacock. They don't do the championship, the big ticket matches just on TV.
Yeah, not too often.
No, whether they don't want to put in a commercial break or whatever it is.
Well, Finn Balor does hold a clean singles win over Roman Reigns, so he could do it again.
He can go 2-0, or he can go 1-for-1. And that was it. Yeah, that was this week's episode of SmackDown Live. But SmackDown, ends promptly at 9:59. Those beautiful, are sort of like that logo, the all rights reserved logo copyright comes up at the bottom.
Trademark.
And then, Mike, you need to swiftly change channels because you don't want you might miss a second of action. Because Fridays is no longer a 2-hour wrestling show. No, AEW Rampage is here. It's a 3-hour wrestling night. So it's 10 p.m. Let's go over to TNT. TBS? I forget.
TBS, I believe.
TBS for some AEW Rampage. That's it. You know what I like about the AEW Rampage, the video package and things like that? They have all these lightning bolts going through everybody during the intro videos. But when they do the shots for the matches themselves, the baby faces always have blue lightning, and the heels always have orange lightning. I don't know if you noticed that. Nice little touch here. Because we do have a big match tonight, a match that we actually kick off with. It is the final in the qualifier. The winner of this match will take on the Young Bucks inside of a steel cage at All Out. We have Jurassic Express taking on the Lucha Bros.
That's right. So with those two teams, you're going to get some good tag team wrestling here. And, Rey Fenix just being his crazy, flippy self, just bouncing all over the ropes from one to the other. And at one point, he literally just falls back first onto the rope. It just bounces
Christ.
Right back up. I'm
Jesus Christ.
How do you do that?
How do you do it?
I mean, I know how, but yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And throughout the match, they kept cutting to the crowd to show an NBA star, Giannis. I'll screw up his last name, so you say it.
Antetokounmpo?
Yeah, Antetokounmpo. Giannis. But yeah, they showed him 10 times throughout this match. They just kept cutting to him.
He was there. He was there after. I think it was before the show. Tony Khan came out and like gave Giannis a title belt, and then Giannis went to the ring, like stood on the ropes, and he got a huge pop. I gotta say, you can see the footage on.
Is he? Where were they?
They're in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It all makes sense now. I didn't put that together. But anyways, back in the ring. Great match here. Bunch of big moves, near falls. Crowd's loving it. Yeah, just people falling off the top rope to the floor. Jericho yelling at everything. Getting a little annoying on that commentary. But
he's still there. He's still there. I thought it was just for the first dance, but I guess he's kind of going on.
Yeah, I thought they would kind of like cycle in and out.
I mean, he's already there.
I guess so.
Yeah, well, I was not under the impression that Rampage was going to be pre-taped.
I guess some weeks it is, some weeks it isn't.
Because it's been the first one was pre-taped. No, the first two were live, and now this one and the next one have been taped.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, sometimes they tape it after Dynamite, and sometimes they tape it on its own, or I don't know.
I don't know. Well, and they have the other two shows there. You know, the Dark and the Dark Elevation. It's like a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyways, we get destroyers on the aprons. Phoenix hits Luchasaurus with a destroyer. So that was big man like that doing the flip. But then he kicks out at one and he hulks up. The crowd's going wild. But then Ray and Penta just double team him with the assisted package pile driver to get the 3 count. So Lucha Bros win. I really thought it would be Jurassic Express. Me too. Yeah. I mean, the match will still be great, but the story was between Jurassic and the Bucks, it seemed. But,
it felt like where we were going, but this was an incredible match despite all of that. This was the high flying spots, lots of things like that, and we know what the Bucks and the Bros can do.
Yeah, and now they get to do it inside a cage.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully no interference by anybody aside. But yeah, whatever match does get put on at All Out, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Then Miro comes out dragging Fuego del Sol with him, and he rips his mask off. Super kicks him in the face. So that was out of line.
The disrespect.
Yeah. So Eddie Kingston comes out and they brawl. And I think they're going to fight. Yeah, they'll fight for the title at the pay-per-view.
I think we're going to get that match at All Out.
Yeah. But then we get the Bunny taking on Ty Conti, who is on a 15-match win streak here. And always nice to see her on TV. Good little match. Eventually, Ty takes over, hits a bunch of pump kicks in the corner, and then the Ty KO. But Penelope Ford comes out, causes the distraction, which allows the Blade to hand Brass Knuckles to Bunny. She clocks Ty in the face and gets the win. So a bit of a flat ending there. The crowd wasn't into it. You just ruined the win streak.
A bit of a flat ending. I think this is not the first time that the Blade has used Brass Knuckles, which is weird because they can call him Brass Knuckles. Like if he's called the Blade, you think he would use a blade, not Brass Knuckles. Maybe that's just me. I guess you're a heel, so that's what you do.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is.
It's what it is, but these are also 2, if not 3 women who will be in that Casino Battle Royal coming up.
I guess this gives the Bunny a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a partner in crime.
Yeah, if he's hanging around that Battle Royal, he can throw in some brass knucks.
Oh, I was even thinking just, that's a good point, yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the main event. You got Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler taking on Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian, which was a fine match, but not as good as the opening tag there. But I mean, Cutler and Kazarian aren't quite at the main event level as the other 2 guys. But anyways, Kenny's got his stooges all on the outside cheating, and he's just avoiding trying to fight Christian, tagging in Cutler. Eventually, Christian gets his hands on Kenny, goes for the kill switch, but he slips out. So Cutler's on his own. So Christian hits him with a spear and the kill switch to get the win.
To get the dub. Yeah, it was. And you said it. Yeah, it was the tag match at the top of the card was so strong that this fell short in providing a little bit of that excitement, but more story to it. I mean, we didn't think Christian Cage stood a chance at those when he challenged for those Impact titles, right? Let alone a chance for the actual AEW championship. So keeping him looking good coming up to the end of this, the end of the line here. I mean, I still don't think he has a chance, but hey, I said that before.
Yeah, they certainly made it go from like 0.1% to a 1%, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they moved the needle a little bit. Looking forward to we'll see more about that on Dynamite, but looking forward to that match at All Out. Nonetheless, that was our whole first or third episode of Rampage. Hope you liked the new theme song too. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Let's move over to there's like did you ever have chore? So I used to have to vacuum the pool. Right, that would be kind of like a summer chore of mine. Right, it's kind of easy. You kind of bring out the little suction basket, and then you put it, and then that sucks into the hose. You got to make sure the hose is filled with water, and then you just kind of walk along. And you've seen the pool at my parents' house; it's above ground. Just sort of walk along the edge and vacuum. Right, It was a chore, but I liked doing it. Versus, we had 3 big dogs. And, of course, one of the chores was picking up some of that duty.
Mm-hmm.
So picking up some of that duty. A classic example of a chore that you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic, let's look no further than this week's Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Longest show that's ever happened in the history of the world, so don't even look at statistics. Monday Night Raw is older than professional wrestling itself, and this week's installment is great. Coming at us from Oklahoma City, home of the Thunder.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
Yes, Jim Ross loves Oklahoma.
He does. Go Sooners.
Go Sooners, Boomers, Sooners, whatever. But a man I don't think is from Oklahoma comes out to kick off the show, although he is the United States champion, so that's Oklahoma.
It's a part of the States. It's true.
But, yes, Damian Priest comes out to pretty good reaction. It's a little risky putting him out to start the show, but, the fans like him.
I don't think he's ever done that before.
Yeah, he's not that superstar level yet, but, shows they have some faith in him, so. Cuts a promo, talking about winning the title, and Bobby Lashley running from him last week, and then he issues an open challenge. So Sheamus comes out to answer, but I was like, no, let's give us something new. So then Drew McIntyre comes out, and he's like, yeah, we want something new. I've never been U.S. champ, so let's do this. But then Lashley and MVP come out, and MVP proposes Lashley fight Priest so he can be a double champ. But then RK Bro come out, so everyone's here. Orton calls Lashley a greedy son of a bitch. Bobby says, well, maybe instead of the U.S. title, we'll take those tag titles. So Riddle's like, all right, let's do it. Anyways, eventually Pierce and Sonya come out to settle all this and say Priest will defend the U.S. title against Sheamus and Drew, triple threat, and then the Hurt Business will challenge for the tag titles later.
Yeah, a little much, a little crowded.
Yeah,
but I think honestly, Priest opening the segment, well, that was a nice change of pace. He's done with Ms. Mo, and he can go on to being his own guy.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway.
Then we get Rhea Ripley taking on Shayna Baszler, and Ripley's got Nikki in her corner. So I think her push of the month is over now. She's kind of just going to be a sidekick. But Ripley, Shayna, early on, there's a big stiff boot to the head of Ripley, and the ref stops and checks on her for a second. Shayna, a little bit reckless with those kicks. Remember when she knocked Asuka's teeth out a little while back?
She did knock Asuka's teeth out. We haven't seen her since. I think maybe we saw her a couple times after.
Maybe not. But anyways, eventually Ripley has her come back. And on the outside of the ring, Nia Jax slams Nikki on the floor, so this distracts Rhea. Shayna rolls her up, but Rhea counters it into a pin of her own, gets the 3. Then afterwards, Nia Jax comes in and slams Rhea. Because Nia says, I'm going to fuck people up tonight. And we'll see her later.
We'll see a little more on that later. I think we just need to decide, are we breaking up Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler or no? Because I think they lost the titles. Shayna was off television for a month. And then their first match back was another tag match. They just need. I
feel like they've walked out on each other a couple times. Like, I'm done, and then they walk away and leave the other person.
Yeah, exactly. They just need to decide. Well, do we break them up or no? Because I don't know who has these tag belts. Natalia and Tamina
still hanging on
there. I'd say just like a Band-Aid, just peel it right off.
Yeah. Then we get the Viking Raiders taking on Jinder Mahal and Veer. Nothing special. I actually thought Ivar looked a little off. Step slower than his normal agile self. But I don't know. Anyways, he powers through, hits the Viking Experience. They get the win.
That's fantastic. A non-title tag match. I'll take that. I'll take it.
Why not? Then we get that U.S. title match. Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Priest just hitting some cool moves. Tope-aking heroes to the floor. But then Drew McIntyre's like, I can do it too. So he hits a big tope. And we get the triple suplex in the corner. The Tower of Doom spot. Throughout the match, Corey Graves kept calling Sheamus Shamo. I don't know if that's a new nickname, but
Shamo?
I don't know about it. Yeah, he's like, Shamo, big boot, Shamo.
Oh, I don't think I caught that.
It was weird. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
But, Sheamus hits Priest with a brogue kick. Then he hits Drew with a big knee and an avalanche white noise for a 2 count. So Drew recovers, hits Sheamus with a claymore, but then Priest comes back in, counters the Glasgow kiss, hits Drew with the reckoning, and that gets him the 3. So that's a huge pinfall for Priest.
Huge.
Pinning a guy like Drew. Yeah. Retains the title. Pinned a guy like Drew who's been protected so much. So, hopefully this is something that they see in Damian and he can enjoy this push.
Yeah. You open the show, pin Drew, and you have a 20-minute match. Like that's a home run as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And remember earlier on in the year when the Sheamus and Drew, they were just 2 big dudes beating the shit out of each other. And this match to me just felt like, okay, let's add another big dude and then have you all beat the shit out of each other. It was, different enough to be fresh.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a really good match.
It was great. U.S. title feels important. And, Damian Priest beat 2 former WWE champions. Certainly this has to be his biggest main roster win to date. Even though he already won the championship, I think this match itself meant a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Then we go to Reggie, still hanging out at that park. They must have just shot like 10 vignettes while they were there.
Yeah, they probably had like a 6-hour shooting permit. So they just got as much as they could.
So this time Tozawa has a dog costume. Anyways, Reggie flips. He gets away. So he's trying to go for that record, that however long title reign.
Who had it?
Rob
I think
Gronkowski.
Gronkowski had it. Yeah, go with the consecutive title reign.
Yeah. Then we get Eva Marie versus Doudrop, the big blow-off match. But before it can even start, Doudrop just attacks Eva from behind, slams her around, hits the big crossbody, goes for the pin, but the bell hasn't even rung yet, so the ref can't count. And as a result of this beating, Eva is now unable to compete. So Doudrop just grabs the mic and says, "The winner of the match, Doudrop." And she's keeping the name, unfortunately.
Yeah, this and you know what? You could really hear her say it because there was close to no crowd reaction throughout this entire match, which was expected.
Yeah, they haven't really. I mean, they haven't done too much to build it.
Yeah, not only have they not done too much to build it, but then it also feels like nobody wants it.
Yeah, like they're not super behind Dewdrop yet, or they don't know much about her.
I was going to say, who's stoked on Eva Marie right now? You know?
Well, yeah.
Like, who's like, yeah, this is the professional wrestling that I want to watch. Like, I wonder, like, who, you know? That makes sense?
Vince McMahon.
No, but I mean, like, in the crowd. The people who will respond negatively or positively to it. Yeah, this feels like the crowd really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, not really.
No.
I don't think they gave much of a shit about Karrion Kross taking on Berto Carrillo.
They gave less of a shit.
Yeah. He's still wearing that terrible gear with the mask and the straps. And
the little Pulp Fiction gimp costume.
Yeah. But luckily, we don't have to look at it for too long as he gets that cross jacket on and gets the quick tap out. So, I mean, at least he's winning now.
Yeah. Scarlett less. But yeah, absolutely no reaction. Like a minus reaction. Like not even boos. Just nothing.
Yeah, which is worse.
Yeah, honestly, nothing is worse than a boo.
Or nothing is worse than nothing.
Ooh.
Except for this next match, because this one really turned into a firecracker. Because we got Charlotte Flair taking on Nia Jax. And, early on, I mean, things were okay for, a matchup between these two. Nia doing her whole new gimmick about the butt, just slapping it, teasing that stink face. But then things go off the rails a bit when she picks Charlotte up for a simple back suplex, but then just drops her nearly on her head. For some reason, Nia didn't go down with her for the suplex. So I think Charlotte gets pissed off at that. She hits Nia with a big boot to the face. And then that's when Nia just stands up, and it turned into a shoot for a second here. They just started slapping each other in the face. It was like a whole cat fight. Nia grabbed Charlotte by the hair, and she just pushed her in the corner. She's like, "You want to do this?" And then Charlotte chops Nia in the chest, and Nia just no-sells it. So at this point, this was real shit going on.
Yeah, this is happening. I think they worked. Did they work themselves? I don't know.
They worked themselves into a shoot, and even the commentary was like,
shoot.
Yeah, the commentary was like, "This is getting heated in here." And yeah, this match just broke down from there. These two just seemed to legit hate each other, and so they just go to the finish. Nia picks Charlotte up into a powerbomb, transitions to the one-arm choke slam, throwing Charlotte to the mat, and she pins her clean. And as she was doing the pinfall, I could see Charlotte just yelling something, probably like, "You stupid bitch, you fucking suck," or something. She was just pissed off about that shit show, but huge upset win for Nia. Wasn't for the title, but still. But yeah, really fucked up match. They definitely...
This was weird.
There.
This was weird. Yeah. As a watcher, as an observer, it's just this is very uncomfortable.
I've seen lots of online wrestlers have weighed in. They're like, yeah, this went off. These people were shooting. They were hitting each other for real for a bit there.
So what's the deal, Mike? And you said it, and I've heard people say it before, she didn't go down with her. What's the difference there? Because I only know of the context. I think it was somebody saying something about Kevin Nash. So he did a power bomb, but he didn't go down with you, which was almost like a.
I mean, you can do it.
It felt like a form of disrespect or something more along those lines.
I mean, in Kevin Nash's thing, I think it's just to make it look more devastating, he just slams you down. I mean, you could do it that way. If Nia had done it properly, it would have been fine. But
so what do people mean though by you don't go down with them? I don't get it.
Like, you know how when you do a suplex, like a vertical suplex, you fall down with the person. You don't just drop them from the vertical.
Okay.
Like, you land on your back at the same time.
So you kind of...
she should have...
So instead of, like, dropping them from whatever point, you kind of fall down with them, like, gently guiding
backwards.
them.
Okay, so if Nia had fallen back, they both would have hit their backs. She wouldn't have over-rotated and landed on her head.
Right.
I mean, you can do it properly. Like, John Moxley does a vertical suplex where he just drops you from the top and you land on your back. So it can be done, but Nia's not the one to be doing it.
So is this another instance of Nia Jax fucking up? Should we just add it to the list?
I think Nia was the cause that it started it, but then Charlotte started shooting on her, and then Nia's like, well, if you want to play that game, I'm bigger than you. And,
Yeah.
Nia's to blame, as usual.
As more often, chances are.
Anyways, let's move on, because up next, Omos takes on John Morrison. I don't know why, but Morrison, he has his hot streak going, but Omos isn't going to lose. So he hits him with the 2-hand choke slam, gets the win.
Did you know that Eva Marie and Doudrop was the only match advertised for this episode of Monday Night Raw that they delivered on?
Yeah, I heard something
Morrison
about that.
Miz was also advertised for tonight, and so was Lashley Sheamus. Which, okay.
The Miz wasn't even on the show.
Miz
so
wasn't
maybe
even
he
on the
had
show,
something.
so they probably had to, make that one quickly, and then Lashley Sheamus, who knows where they went there. No real explanation for Miz's absence, maybe travel issues or something like that, but weird booking decision, felt like either way.
Yeah, I mean, John Morrison, you're trying to get this little baby face run going. I just thought it was weird to kind of
especially something like this, this is a 2-minute match.
Yeah.
Like, okay, do you tell do you tell your main event, okay, go 2 minutes longer? Or do you tell, like, where could this 2 minutes have been distributed?
Yeah.
Somewhere else, probably.
they could have just combined it with this next match, because AJ Styles took on Xavier Woods, and they could have just been like, hey, Xavier, John, let's team up, because Kofi's not around right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give us 2 more minutes, great, boom.
Anyways, because this next one was basically only 2 minutes as well. AJ locks in calf crusher. Xavier taps out. I mean, it was more than 2 minutes, but still, that's basically all.
Yeah, a little more than that. But either way, the former Raw Tag Team Champs got 2 straight wins, on their little solo runs.
Yeah. But let's go to the current Raw Tag Champs, because that's the main event here. RK Bro taking on the Hurt Business. It was fine. They all had their little moments. Riddle hits the floating bro on Lashley, but MVP breaks up the count. But then on the outside, Omos and AJ show up, and they attack Orton. Back in the ring, Riddle nails MVP with the pump knee and the floating bro, so he gets the win anyways, retains the titles.
With the
floating bro, and then after
in a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, crowd still loves RK Bro, so they can ride that for a little while. Afterwards, Lashley spears Riddle, but then Orton RKO's Lashley, helps his buddy Riddle up. So RK Bro stand tall. But it almost seems like they're teasing a bit of a Lashley Orton thing or something.
Lashley Randy, I would think, like, that has to be, or like in my mind, that's the filler feud until Lashley, Goldberg, and Saudi, right? Like, if we need a match for Extreme... if we need a match for Extreme Rules, let's say, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, that makes sense. I think it's, late October we're going back to Saudi?
Yeah, and you used to talk about a skip button on this show. I didn't even mention Goldberg, but he was definitely on the show, cutting promos at some point.
Oh, I skipped right past him. Oh, fuck that
so
kid.
do I.
Fuck that kid.
So do I. Fuck that kid, Gage. And your father.
Sort of, similar. And it's on Smackdown, if Brock Roman, there's a chance, if that's a Saudi match, then maybe, Finn sort of fills the time until then.
Yeah, could definitely see that. The Saudis love their big nostalgia stars.
Yeah, exactly, which is probably why Goldberg's still here, which is probably why this WWE Championship is stagnating. Because we need to spend 4.5 months with Goldberg involved. So we only get the belt for like 8 months a year. Either way, but the triple threat for the U.S. Championship was great this episode, and this was the first Raw it's felt like in a while where we didn't have any rematches booked. Really, Rhea Shayna, I don't think we've seen that on the main roster. We had a tag match, the Great Triple Threat. A couple squashes. The Nia Charlotte, I think, is the only match that we've actually... Probably AJ Xavier. But, it didn't really feel like we were rehashing things from recent weeks.
Yeah. And the Nia Charlotte one was, significant.
Fucking in a mess.
Yeah. Like in an online social media way.
And if Charlotte said you did something wrong, that means you did something wrong. Like, there's no kind of, like... there has to be somebody like at the top of, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to somebody play calling or something, right? Like if you're in a match with Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan says, "Hey, you screwed that up," I can almost guarantee you screwed that up.
Yeah, Nia has not earned the benefit of the doubt between the two.
100% no. So I'm sure whatever happened, Charlotte was in the right. Mike, that was episode of Monday Night Raw, and that's the first half of the show. Should we take a break?
Yeah. But you know what? I will say real quick, in an unintended way, this does make me slightly intrigued for the inevitable Charlotte-Nia rematch.
Oh
like,
yeah,
can
now
they cooperate? Are they going to break down? Are they going to throw hands? Will they cooperate?
That's a good point. They worked themselves into a shoot, so now they got to shoot themselves back into a work to make it all,
Nia beat her clean. That has to lead to a title match.
Usually, in Brock Lesnar logic, yeah, you are now champion to Brock Lesnar logic. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with the second half of the show because we have some NXT. We have our Go Home Dynamite. So stick around.
Let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother, yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for sticking out through the break with us, folks, because the professional wrestling world week, is far from over. We have go-home shows. We have Dynamite's, of course, at the end of the week, we're going home towards we're in Chicago. We're in the exact arena that All Out will be taking place in. And we have this week's edition of NXT, which is actually a Fallout show. So let's get in some NXT.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3.
Before we start calling the action in the ring, Mike, this is the fallout from NXT TakeOver 36, but it's almost like a go home. It almost feels like a go home show. Because we're leading a goodbye show. Because we're leading to territories where we haven't even charted before. So what? It was just yesterday, maybe the day before that. Meltzer, Alvarez, everyone's talking about it. Come September 12th, NXT will be returning to be a live, maybe on the road atmosphere with a new show being produced by Bruce Pritchard and none other than Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that's a little scary. We've seen the new logo, the rebranding. Well, not rebranding, but I guess
That's a rebrand.
Yeah, rebranding. Yeah, sure.
Changing their color scheme. No longer are we doing the human skull with the eagle wings.
The skull bird.
Skullbird.
I'm assuming it's still going to be in the CWC, but they can kind of redress it. No more black and yellow. Hopefully the ring ropes aren't rainbow colored.
They will be.
Like an orange, a purple, and a pink rope or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say how it's going to go.
Trips is out.
It's weird.
Sean's out.
Yeah, he made NXT what it is.
Matt Bloom
when he came in, it
out.
was a shitty. Yeah. It was a shitty show when he came in. He built it up into a third brand, and then they got mad when it wasn't, it's their third brand. Why aren't you as good as the other company's first brand? They got mad at him for that. Yeah.
So yeah,
but,
certainly don't have high hopes for the future of NXT. Of course, we will keep a close eye on it. for as long as we possibly can. Hope for the best. But if you're Adam Cole,
I mean, yeah, he's thanking God his contract ran out when it did.
and he's thinking to himself, where should I sign to? So it's now pretty much there's no options. It's either you work for Vince McMahon or you don't. Those are kind of the two options now. At least wasn't that we were thinking with all the weeks prior was that it's very, very, very public knowledge that Adam Cole's hero is Shawn Michaels. And he's wanted to work in some capacity alongside him for his entire life, and he got the opportunity to do so for 3 years. But now the opportunity's passed. It's you work for Vince or you work for not Vince.
Nah, I think at this point it's work for Tony Khan or don't work at all. Those are what the two options should be.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you've done everything in NXT. You can say you're the greatest NXT superstar of all time, arguably.
And people would argue in your favor.
Yeah.
But three 5-star matches?
Yeah.
4 maybe?
Longest title reign ever. Yeah. Get out of here, Cole. We all know what's best. And I think you do too.
We all know what's best. But let's get into this week's episode of NXT. We only have 2 more before Vince takes over. And this week, we actually kick off with some singles women's action.
That's right. We got Saray taking on Mandy Rose, who I'm sure Vince McMahon is going to love. Mandy, at least. Saray, he'll be like, who the hell's this? You work for me? But I guess this is Mandy's first match back here in NXT. And she's assembling her posse. She's got Gigi Dolan and JC Jane at her side. Looking solid in the ring here, being cocky, doing push-ups on Saray's back. But Saray takes over with her heavy offense, just big suplexes. Late in the match, she hits a devastating running drop kick to Mandy on the bottom rope, which Mandy took it like a champ. That was amazing. She just crashes hard to the floor. And that drop kick was enough. JC and Gigi are like, no more of this. They grab Mandy and just take her to the back, take the count out. So Saray gets a win.
Takes the count out. Unfortunately, Mandy Rose does get the L. Technically, officially, for God's greatest creation. Man, I was watching. I was watching this matchup, and I thought to myself, what the hell happened to Frankie Monet?
She doesn't fight much. Which is weird.
They
hyped her up for so long.
Yeah. No, they really did. And then,
I feel like I haven't seen Presley all summer. Right. since he took a dump in that tank, he hasn't been seen.
I hope the dog's all right.
No, yeah. Those little dogs. Anyways, Saray gets the win. Mandy Rose, though, I thought she actually had the crowd was, kind of split. They were reacting good for her.
Yeah.
But then we go to Kyle O'Reilly taking on Duke Hudson. And Kyle's got his ribs all taped up. So, that just puts a target for old Duke to, try to wear you down. But Kyle fights back, works over Hudson's knee and hits him with the big knee drop. And locks in the heel hook. Get the submission win.
A little quick win, just like that. Hudson, was he one of the guys in the that tournament we just watched?
Yes. Yeah. So he'll be sticking around. He's kind of big, so I'm sure Vince will like him. Then we got the new NXT United Kingdom champion. Ilya Dragunov comes out. Crowd chanting, "You deserve it." And he just cuts a nice, passionate promo about his big win against Walter. And crowd chants, "Please don't go." And he says, "Oh, don't worry. You'll see me again soon." So that's good. Hopefully Walter as well.
Yeah. Still, we're still in the shadow of that incredible match having happened. Mm-hmm. It feels like, that's... Who knows? We might never see a better match in a takeover. So watch out.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like, I gotta get out of here. Vince McMahon's coming. Gotta get back to the UK, boys.
Yeah, wait, hey, maybe that's where Hunter and Sean are gonna go. They'll be producing
before
NXT.
Vince is like, wait a minute,
UK.
There's another NXT.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Vince. Someone's gonna show a photo of Vince. Remember that graphic when Trips wanted to expand NXT, and there was like a map of the world, and then it was like I think it was like China was highlighted, India was highlighted, like all these, somewhere in South America was also highlighted. Maybe Triple H is just gonna kind of flee to one of those destinations.
Who knows? Then we get Imperium taking on Drake Maverick and Grayson Waller. You know this guy?
I don't think so. Should I?
I don't know.
Okay.
He was dressed up like a boxer. And he, takes a beating. Gets beat up, eats the Imperial Bomb, and Imperium get the win.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Drake Maverick still has a job.
So what happened? So the whole thing and him losing his job, then him crying, and then him getting the opportunity that he lost again. But then did he get a contract? Did I just forget about this?
I mean, yeah, he lost his job and they brought him back, and then now his partner got released, so he's still around. But I can't imagine he's anything that Vince McMahon wants, a guy his size and not muscular or anything, and not particularly like...
Well, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, remember when Drake Maverick pissed his pants at SummerSlam in like 2018
That's true.
or something?
Vince loves that.
Vince loves that. So maybe we're keeping...
like, give that guy a 10-year contract. God damn it.
Guy a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
You'll piss your pants on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
No MSK, though. No MSK. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. I think this was the only tag match we got of the night. And it feels like maybe until, if we are going on the road or live or however that is, we need a new, fresh set of people to maybe cheer for MSK. Because I don't think they'll get the intended response at the CWC.
Well, we might just see them later. You'll see.
Okay.
But Johnny Gargano takes on LA Knight, and he's got Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis now accompanying Johnny at ringside. Taking him into the family. I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but Candice LeRae is now pregnant. In real life, her and Johnny having a baby, so I don't think we'll see much of her on TV for a little while.
Baby wrestling.
Yeah, baby wrestling. That's right. And with Austin Theory, I think he ran away from home. We haven't seen him in a long time, so this Gargano family, I mean, if they need Dexter Lumis,
has fallen apart.
Yeah. So anyways, Johnny's fighting. He gets knocked off the apron right into Loomis's arms, catches him. Johnny goes back in the ring, and then Lumis reaches a hand out, and Johnny reaches back, and I don't know why. He just, a silly distraction, allows Knight to hit the BFT, get the win. So I don't know. I don't know if I blame Dexter, or if I blame Johnny for, I don't know what the hell either of them were thinking.
Yeah, he was. Either way, this was Johnny Gargano crowd favorite here. I feel like he's been a little tweener throughout this Index thing, and maybe LA Knight is just can turn anybody babyface if you're in the ring with him. Maybe he's that level of good where no matter what, he will get more heel heat than you will.
Yeah. I don't know what the Way's direction is, this three-piece that they've...
Who knows what the Way's direction is, but I think, to me, I'm more just thinking now, Samoa Joe is our champion. He will need a challengers. And LA Knight is a guy who could be a challenger to Samoa Joe.
He could be one, yeah. That could definitely be a good feud.
Yeah, I mean, we had just seen Kyle O'Reilly get a win earlier on in the night. I think there's some fresh matchups, which could be pretty good.
Then we get a teaser, another little Tian Sha video, which tells us that next week we will finally see the in-ring debut of Mei Ying.
Wow.
So, hey, that's something.
That was surprising. We were asking ourselves just last week, when it'll ever happen. I guess sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something. If Xia Li is missing from the group, it can't just be Boa carrying it.
Because he's getting lost. He's getting L's.
Yeah, he's picking up L's. Speaking of L's, we go to Raquel Gonzalez taking on Jessie Kamea. I think this is, you were asking about Frankie Monet. This is where she was. She's just at ringside with Jesse Kamea, who, gets a couple moves in, but then Raquel takes over, hits the Chingola bomb, gets the win, and she just stares down Frankie Monet, who's watching at ringside. So maybe that's what they're leading to, a short little title feud between Monet and Raquel.
Yeah, Gonzalez, Monet. And see, the thing with NXT is that we don't have this, or currently we don't have this like routine pay-per-view schedule where, you know, us as fans in the back of our minds can keep kind of thinking, oh yeah, there is this in the future. You know, like we have All Out, but we know that after All Out is Full Gear sometime in November. So, you know, between August or September, November, you're like, yeah, this is what happens. But with no like clear dates in mind, I don't know. What's this? You know, what are we building towards?
Yeah, no, I mean, that could be it. Frankie Monet might not necessarily be a takeover title match yet, but you can have a title match on a weekly episode of NXT.
Why not?
Build it up for her. Yeah, her and her little group. Yeah. Then I think we got a little sit-down interview, Wade Barrett, Samoa Joe, but we don't really, you know, he's just him talking about, I'm the champ, I'm the standard bearer, and we don't know who's going to be his next challenger yet.
No, but he wants to compete against the best. That's what he said.
Yeah, so bring it on, everybody. Roderick Strong takes on Ikemen Jiro, and Roddy doesn't much care for Jiro's, you know, carefree, fun attitude. He slams him hard on the steel steps. Very nasty landing. That it was just like tailbone on corner. I don't know. It didn't look good.
It looked maybe.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked rough.
Yeah.
But he can't even get up. Roddy just throws him back in the ring. Nails a big back breaker, just wearing down Jiro. Jiro gets a little comeback, gets the crowd fired up, hits a nice springboard moonsault. But then Roddy kicks out, hits a couple more vicious backbreakers to get the win.
Yeah, Roderick Strong is such a good wrestler, but with very, very little charisma, I feel. And, you know, having Jiro in the match with him, you know, lets Jiro be the charisma, but maybe he's a little too green to sort of represent that entire role. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And weeks ago, we were promised a Roderick Strong versus Kushida match, which I think never happened. And I think at the end of the match, I think at the end of the match, Roderick Strong calls out Kushida after that. Who knows why? For whatever reason, that match was delayed. But we need to get that because I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Maybe it's a travel issue.
Travel issue. You never know. You never know. But
never know.
I want to see
as
it
we
still.
get. Yeah,
I still want to see it.
Then the main event is Tommaso Ciampa taking on Ridge Holland. Just two, just hard hitting, fighting all around the ring, outside, using the environment. Ciampa hits the air raid crash, big near fall. But then soon after that, he hits the Willow's Bell, gets a 3. But then before he can even celebrate, Pete Dunne, Birch, Lorcan, they all jump in until MSK come out. And they make the save, and I think this is their first ever pop. They got a positive reaction. As they helped out Ciampa.
Their biggest pop ever, because they helped one of the most beloved superstars in the brand. And he is. Yeah. Tommaso Ciampa is clearly one of the biggest stars here. Even in this new era, he could remain to do so. You know, win or lose, the fans love him. And I'd say the same for Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah. We always love the Thatch man here.
But time will tell on this whole MSK thing. I still really don't know what everybody else thinks. They need to go on the road. We need a little bit of a crowd feedback.
Yeah. But that was it. That was NXT for the week.
Only 2 more shows, I believe, until or one show, and then the one after that will be brand new. So look out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to our From a Good
I'm worried we might lose the Poppy Association. I don't know if Vince McMahon knows Poppy.
What is this shit?
Yeah.
Well, from a almost goodbye show to a go home show, let's move across because it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for some AEW Dynamite.
AEW, All Elite, they coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
That's right. And they really didn't hype it up much or anything, but this was actually episode 100.
Usually they're good at hyping shit, and it wasn't until later on in the show we'll get an in-ring interview with Chris Jericho and Jim Ross. It wasn't until Chris Jericho said it that I caught it. They may have said it earlier on, but it just kind of went over my head.
Yeah. They certainly didn't make a big deal out of it.
It was bizarre.
But,
you think they would have said something. Either way, it's Dynamite 100. Congratulations,
either way,
guys.
hey, it's cool. And, as soon as you start the show, you can see there's a steel cage hanging above the ring. What's that for? I don't know.
Well, so
We'll see.
we are in the same arena as where All Out will be taking place. Of course, All Out has the whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
The
match, Lucha Bros, Young
the match.
Bucks.
Yeah. So I guess maybe they just set it up like, we'll leave it there all week. Whatever.
Why the hell not?
So anyways, we start off with a hot tag match here. Santana, Ortiz taking on FTR. We all remember that last match with that scary injury to Cash, that big cut. I saw some Twitter pictures afterwards of the aftermath, and it was deep, thing.
It was
25 stitches.
It was pretty nasty. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah. So it's crazy. He's back at it pretty soon already. That thing's got to still be healing up. But yeah, Santana Ortiz, they had their dead presidents get up on. Yeah, this was good. Crowd was split for both teams. You don't really know. Two of the tops in the division here. Santana Ortiz doing some big dives, high flying. FTR trying to keep him grounded. They even call back to the last match where they had the corner. They removed that little cover over the turnbuckle, and they threatened to yank Ortiz's arm near that exposed steel, trying to make another freak injury.
Dangerous.
But that thing stays exposed, and later on he gets slammed headfirst into it. FTR hit him with the big rig, but then the pin gets broken up. Pride and Powerful fight back, and they end up hitting this double inverted suplex, and that gets them the win. Haven't seen them use that as a finishing move before, but here it is.
I don't think so. I was a little surprised. I thought FTR would get the win.
Me too.
In this one, after that first match of theirs was cut short because of the injury, I've heard that, the arm injury may be serious, and may force Cash Wheeler, to be out of action for a long time, which is weird why I thought they, kind of bumped it up to here. But he had a little arm sleeve
a little thing on. But still, I thought, pretty soon looked like a serious injury. So,
but it was a great way to kick off the show.
Yeah, the match was great. Then we go to CM Punk coming out to another huge reaction to cut. One more promo. Well, maybe not. He might be on Rampage.
He'll probably be on Rampage.
Talking about the big match against Darby this Sunday until Daniel Garcia and 2.0 run out. And they just triple team him, beating him down until Darby Allin and Sting come out to make the save. And we see CM Punk get his first offense in, including GTS. So the three men stand tall together. Darby and Punk kind of go face-to-face for a second, and then Sting gets on the microphone, puts both guys over, and says, on Sunday, I'm going to stay in the back and let you two put on the show.
So much respect between these men, between these competitors. They're not looking for cheap shots a week before the pay-per-view. No, they want a fair fight.
Yeah.
Gotta respect that.
And
respect
you know what? I also respect 2.0 go from being released from NXT to sharing a ring with Sting and CM Punk on television
in the same week. Oh my God! Imagine what a meteoric rise these guys
thank
are.
God
on.
We got released.
These guys are on right now. I swear. I mean, it's late in the year. But strong Rookie of the Year potential. Strong.
Yeah.
If they can keep this going through full gear, they have a lot of fun. I like. They get a lot of backstage segments now, and one of them, I got to learn both their names. But one of them screams all the time. Like everything
one of them
he
stands out more than the
says
other.
is a scream, and I'm just like, yes, scream in
he's
my
good.
face, like, hey, Darby. It's like he has one volume. This dude. Gotta learn their names. Yeah, they could be on a meteoric rise, though. I gotta say.
Yeah, I too need to learn their names. 2.0. We had a little sit-down interview. Tony Schiavone, MJF. Kind of, you know what to expect. MJF, rude, cocky, insulting Jericho. But always a good promo from him.
Yeah. The promo was happening. Still not stoked on the match, though. Especially because it is shaping up to be a pretty damn big card. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that in a sec or two. But we got Orange Cassidy taking on Jack Evans. And that damn Matt Hardy attacking Cassidy before the bell. So the ref ejects him from the ring. Which, still gives Evans an advantage early on. But Orange Cassidy fights back, reverses a suplex attempt into an inside cradle to get the 3 count. But then afterwards, all of the Hardy family jump him again. So Jurassic Express come out to make the save.
I now, if you were watching this live, the ending of the match happened during the commercial break when you were in picture-in-picture.
That's right.
Which I thought was a
rare.
weird. Yeah, I was. I can't even. What's the point of that? But I don't know if it was a miscue or whatever. But yeah, Orange Cassidy's got to be on TV every week. He's our new kind of guy. He's a guy. He's on TV all the time.
Yeah, he's a guy, but he's a good guy. Not just a guy. But yeah. After that, we go to Jim Ross in the ring for his first ever in-ring interview here in AEW. And he gives a nice introduction, brings out his guest, Chris Jericho, who just cuts a promo about his long, legendary career, his journey in the wrestling business, and his putting it all, his entire career on the line against MJF this Sunday. And yeah, just a good fired-up promo. Makes me believe maybe this is it. Because they specifically say he'll retire from All Elite Wrestling, not that he'll never wrestle again, so he can still go do his cruise and things like that.
He can still do the cruise. He can still do New Japan if he wants. But we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this matchup a little bit later. But it is Chris Jericho, right? This man transcends time and space.
Yeah, he always looks a little. His eyes are always red and cloudy. I'm just saying. He looks like he has a good time. That's what he looks.
Of course.
Powerhouse Hobbs take on Brian Cage. A lot of beef here.
A lot of beef.
But pretty standard big man match here. Cage is in control when Hook jumps up to distract the ref, and Ricky Starks nails Cage with the FTW belt, allowing Hobbs to hit his finisher and get the win.
There's so many of these internal beefs or segments or whatever, which does nothing to just push the feud forward.
Yeah,
right. And another kind of it's Team Taz, Cage, House loses, Starks, Greasy. I'm like, that did nothing to kind of push whatever we're trying to do. For me, at least, just for me.
No, me too. I think Cage needs to separate fully from Team Taz. Let's just be done. The split is over. Let's move on from all of them.
Yeah.
Then we get QT Marshall and his factory in the ring. They called out Paul White. So he comes out and then just single-handedly takes out everyone in the ring. Takes out all of them. The Gun Club come out after to help, even though he already had it handled. The crowd chants, QT sucks. But then, out of nowhere, Billy Gunn just nails White in the back with a chair, followed by another chair shot to the head. So it looks like the Gun Club is heel.
And
from, one family to the other.
Well, yeah, JR, you mean the Big Show? Was
yeah? Did he call him the Big Show?
He called
again?
him Big Show twice.
Yeah. Well, he's got the BS on his sweater.
He also said something really funny where he was talking about, I think, the members of the factory, Camarado, Solo, the other guy, and he was like, these guys are really full of P and V. Which I know that he was trying to say piss and vinegar, and then maybe thought to himself, you're not supposed to say piss, but P and V to me sounds like being full of P and V sounds a lot worse than being full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
he's
you
trying
can
his
say piss.
best, though, man.
They say shit on the air. You can say piss. Shit is worse than piss.
Is shit worse than piss? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
In every way, I think it is.
Yeah, and then Marshall, then QT Marshall came in and then hit Big Show with a cutter. I think drum
Yeah.
up some heat.
A kind of a cutter. Big Show just like turns and falls.
But
on
it
his
was
side.
it was a weird move for those members of the Gun Club, though. I thought that was a little bit of an odd choice.
This whole thing is like not worthy of the pay-per-view, not even worthy of being on Dynamite, I think.
Like you think this would be a fun Rampage match? Like if you got to blow off a
like
match,
Paul White's first match at Rampage.
the Rampage before All Out. You're like, boom. That's because and then we watch Rampage, and then that excites us to watch the pay per view. Like I can kind of see how those things go, but to see the Gun Club just sort of turn, bring up some heat, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, Malachi Black is not on the All Out card, but QT Marshall and Paul White get on the card. That's a little.
It's bizarre.
weird to me.
Yeah, it is a bit bizarre. I think Malachi Black will be on this week's Rampage.
Yeah, he had like a little video this week.
Yeah.
One thing I like, every week his darkness on his face spreads more and more. It's like he's becoming more corrupt.
Oh, really? That's cool.
His black face paint, yeah. I wonder if fully he'll just be
No,
painted.
he probably won't be.
Probably not
I'm going to
fully.
stop you right there. He probably won't be.
I'm not saying blackface.
Oh, okay.
There'll be like some white mixed in and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
No, I don't think he would. But anyways, let's move on to some women's action here. Penelope Ford taking on Ty Conti with the bunny on the outside, helping Ford behind the ref's back. Even though they were in the 9:30 slot, they actually got a good amount of time here. Pretty good little match. Eventually, Ty takes over, just hits a bunch of pump kicks in the corner. Her new signature move. She shoves Penelope into the bunny and then rolls her up with a nice bridge to get the 3 count. And then afterwards, the heels just jump in, beat up Conti until we get the return of Anna Jay to come and save her friend.
Anna Jay, welcome back.
Yeah. Is she still Dark Order aligned?
Still Dark Order aligned. Of course, she gave up on one of the best gimmicks in professional wrestling history to be a member of the Dark Order, who themselves have kind of, fell by the wayside, especially since Hangman's been out, with the birth of his kid recently, or the to-be birth. And,
Soon to be, yeah.
And Anna Jay being out. Yeah, the Dark Order needing a little bit of life to be thrown back in.
Yeah, a little bit on the ropes at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the women's match was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We'll be seeing probably all these competitors in the Casino Battle Royal this weekend.
Yes, and Tony Khan did announce that match is being bumped from the pre-show to the main show because they've had to cancel Pac versus Andrade.
Yeah, I wonder why that was. Like,
Once again, I think travel issues.
Which side, though?
I think Pac, because I feel like Andrade's been to Mexico and back recently.
Yeah, so we think Pac still lives in the UK and then only shows up for Dynamite.
I don't know what his deal is,
I
but-
wonder because he's so nobody knows anything about this guy.
Yeah, 'cause that happened before. He kind of disappeared for a while, and then he came back. I think just move here for a bit. Just come live here for the next 5 years.
For a little bit, and
make a lot of money.
But I guess we've taken off that match, which is good. Instead of replacing it, we're kind of just switching whoever it was out.
Yeah, they did add another pre-show match, but we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But, anyways, let's talk about the main event of this week's show. The Elite taking on Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. Big 8-man tag match here. So, of course, throughout the thing, everyone's having their fun little moments, except for Doc Gallows because he sucks. But
he did nothing. He did literally nothing all match.
yeah,
He got put over
So,
the rope like 3 times. Oh my
Yeah.
god, this guy.
Jungle Boy, though, looking great. He's eating power bombs on the apron, just doing big high-flying spots. Yeah. Eventually, it comes down to the Bucks. They hit Phoenix with a Meltzer driver. They get the 3 count, but I don't know. It was weird. During the pin, I saw Phoenix lift his shoulder up like 3 times.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know what he was doing. Yeah. And it was like he was selling the pain, but his shoulder was up, so the ref should have. Anyways. Anyway, after the match, Kenny Omega comes out with a different. He had like dark blue, black hair.
I thought it was
going
like
on
dyed
there.
jet black.
Yeah, like jet. I saw a little bit of blue maybe in there as well, which was I don't know. Either way, I don't know if it was meant to be like purposely look like. I don't know. It just looked funny. But yeah, he's just ordering the Elite around. They all beat up the guys in the ring. The Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer, putting Luchasaurus through a table. So Christian Cage comes running out to try and help, but he gets outnumbered. The Elite, they all grab the kendo sticks, and that's when the cage that's been hanging all night starts to lower. And they've got him trapped inside. They just beat the shit out of him. All these baby faces come out. They start trying to climb the cage, but they get thwarted. This might have been the most useful that cold spray's ever been, with Cutler just spraying guys trying to climb up on the outside.
Yeah.
Because they can't hit him
They're
back.
climbing up the truss, and he just...
Yeah. So anyways, they're just beating the shit out of him. They get handcuffs out, start cuffing the guys. They finish it all off with a triple BTE trigger to Christian. And then we kind of go off the air quickly. It felt like there might have been more happening, but it just cuts off.
Yeah, okay. My
is still
feed
going on.
also cut off. So yeah, maybe they went a little bit long there at the end or whatever. If you were unhappy with the Elite's dominance in AEW before this show or before this segment, don't watch this segment then. This almost has like an NWO style.
That's definitely what I think. Yeah.
Just dominate, like destroying literally everybody.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what they're going
Like
for.
purposely going for it.
Yeah. You don't want to go too far though. People can turn on it. And I think they're getting a little close with all that interference. So hopefully
it felt like the way that Christian Cage won the Impact title. We're like, hey, they got a little bit about what they deserved. And then, we all felt, maybe Jurassic Express and then Young Bucks. And we're like, yeah, finally the Bucks are going to go down and maybe it won't happen that way. Let's get right into the pay-per-view, right? Because we're just going to be talking about it. So let's get into this week's edition this year's edition of All Out, live from Hoffman Estates in Illinois, Chicago, where everything always happens in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned it before. They booked this one long before the Rampage, so that's why it's in a slightly smaller arena than the Allstate.
Although I think that any city in North America, or any of those big markets, they could sell out a pay-per-view in the biggest arena. In their Scotiabank sized, where the hockey and basketball teams play. I think they could. They could sell out ACC. I think they could sell out Staples. They could sell out Barclays. They could sell out, any of those.
I agree.
Let's get into the card then, because you just say there was one pre-show match. It was supposed to be the Casino Battle Royal, the Women's Casino Battle Royal. However, it'll just be a standard 10-man tag. Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Jurassic Express taking on the Hardy Family Office and TH2. Probably just a lot of excitement and pizzazz to happen, just because we have a 9-match card.
10.
10.
On my count. Well, including this pre-show.
Including the pre-show, I guess it would be 10. Yeah, but we have We have 9 matches on our main card.
Yeah, so this one, give it to the baby faces. Have a little fun pre-show match there.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
That's all you need.
I'm sure it'll happen. Mike, you're gonna book this card for us this week because you're just so gosh darn good at it.
All right. Well, then let's just kick off with the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale for the AEW Women's Championship. I won't go over every name, but some of the big contenders: Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa has a big chance of winning. Ty Conti, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet. Some of those: Jade Cargill, Hikaru Shida, who we never see, even though she was a champ for a year, which is weird.
Yeah. Still sporting that huge AEW record too, I bet.
Yeah. And of course, there is the one mystery spot, the old Joker. Then my pick is one woman formerly known as Ruby Riott to come out and take that spot.
Maybe take that spot. Mike, your pick would be 1. My pick would be, dare I say 2? Because if I can think of a team that have always been a team, it's none other than the Iconics. I think the 2 of them are going to pop up as a double Joker.
That would be, that would be just as good. That'd be, if not better.
I'm sure they have new in-ring names. Couldn't tell you what it would be, but I do know.
I saw them trademark. I forget what it is, but it's something along those lines.
Know the non-compete is over. It's over for Ruby Riott. It is over for Peyton Royce. It is over for Billie Kay. Any 3 of those women could be popping up in this battle royal to really elevate this whole division, really.
So the new team is called Inspiration with 2 I's.
Inspiration. There you have it.
Yeah, so there you have it. I like that. Hope all 3 can show up. Hopefully, that'd be great. Then we got a singles match. They've kind of been hyping it up over a couple weeks. Jon Moxley just cutting his little promos because he's taking on Satoshi Kojima. Kind of a New Japan crossover here. Yeah, opening that forbidden door that he keeps saying.
Opening that forbidden door.
Yeah, so should be a fun little match.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Kojima was the first guy to ever hold the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Interesting.
He's 50.
I did not know he was that old. Wow.
There you go. Cool. And I think the American audience just likes seeing New Japan characters because it means, it's something, it's just different. It's fun.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of the AEW fans are already New Japan fans or are at least aware of the big names and the big matches.
Yeah. Yeah. And if not, this match, I'm sure they'll wrestle a slightly different style. So they could be like, hey, there's some cool stuff. Moxley will hit the Death Rider.
Death Rider!
Then we get Miro taking on Eddie Kingston for that AEW TNT Championship. Yeah, Miro's just been on this dominant reign, and the crowd loves Eddie, but I don't think he's quite going to win the belt here. Maybe maybe we see the debut of Miro's wife, CJ Perry, come out to cause a bit of a scuffle. Eddie loses that way, and then he gets his big rematch in that New York sellout crowd. That's going to be on fire.
Oh, that's how you book. That's how you book a show, Mike. That's incredible. If the 90-day competes are over, Lana, CJ,
we're good.
Whatever you want to call her.
Double the women's division in one night.
Imagine Eddie Kingston winning a championship
in New York.
In New York at Madison Square Garden, the former birthplace of Vince McMahon. That's how you book a fucking show, Mike. Now that's all I want. Now this is exactly what I want to happen. And putting anybody in the ring with Miro, similar to an LA Knight, he automatically makes you a babyface just by stepping in the ring with him. It doesn't even matter what you do, you're a babyface, and Eddie Kingston's so over.
And Miro has been in all his promos. He usually mentions his wife. He's like, my hot wife.
My hot wife.
Yeah, so she's not without. She exists in the AEW universe.
In the canon, yep. Yeah.
Then we get Chris Jericho taking on MJF in what could be the AEW retirement of Chris Jericho if he loses. But like you said, I mean, we've already seen the match 3 times. MJF's won every time, so I mean, you expect he should win again. He's the young guy. Chris Jericho has no reason to beat him. But I mean, I guess you also think, is Chris Jericho really going to retire from AEW forever? I don't know. What do you think?
Will he retire from competing in the ring? It's so hard to say. You know that Chris Jericho... It is so hard to say because, I feel like he would just come back to, like, commentary or something like that. Like, he would always be around the locker room. He's 50 years old. He's the first one to say that, AEW was able to sign such a large deal with TNT and all these sorts of things because the assurance that he would be there. And now 3 years later, I think he can look back, or 2.5 rather, he can look back and just now look at the roster. Now look at what we're doing. Now look at AEW. We're no longer a pipe dream with with an old vet. Like they got Punk, they got Punk back. If they pick up Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole to go alongside Jungle Boy, Darby, the entire elite that's already there. I know I'm forgetting someone. MJF.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho doesn't need to be there anymore. Like, he can do that. That's the way I see it. I think he's going down. And not only that, I think that this is it for him. This is it for him wrestling in the ring. If you are in the Columbus, Ohio area tonight or the Joliet, Illinois area tomorrow, be sure to catch Fozzy live. And then starting on the 9th is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's when the Fozzy World Tour goes through October. So either way, Chris Jericho will be on tour for the next bunch of months. With his band Fozzy, where you can hear songs like Judas and others. So there you have it. Yeah, Chris Jericho's going down, but just only because the roster will be okay without him. The fans, the commercials, the sponsors, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. And he can be like a Ric Flair, just come back once in a while.
And like we already won Wednesday. If there was ever a concern, somebody at TNT over there saying themselves like, "Holy shit!" Like they win, they beat him. You beat Vince McMahon on a day. Great, that's a lot of faith.
And if Fozzy ever opens for a band I like, I'll buy a ticket.
Sure. If I can get a Fozzy ticket for like $25 and I got nothing to do that night, we're going.
Yeah, if they play, yeah.
Well, obviously they're going to play.
If they open for a band I like as well.
They can even be the headliners. I'll just show up at like 10:30. Like that's fine. Cuz I can't imagine I want to hear any band that opens for Fozzy.
No. Then we have the Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Brothers in a steel cage match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Yeah, like we said, I mean, we thought the storyline was kind of leading to Jurassic Express for the big title win. But, Lucha Brothers, just as capable of a team. But, yeah, I don't know. Not as confident in them winning, but I could still see it happening.
Yeah, as soon as we got that swerve to the Lucha Bros, I just feel like I think if Jurassic Park or Jurassic Express is going to win, it needs to be a little more triumphant than just a win over the Lucha Bros. But who knows? We could change the entire fabric of that story. One thing, when we saw the cage come down to close off this week's episode of Dynamite, I thought to myself, that cage is just so fucking tall. That's the same. It's the same cage, by the way, that Cody Rhodes almost broke his fucking foot off of, jumping off, doing that, like reverse shooting star press. And then I thought to myself, that cage is too tall. Someone's taking the destroyer off the top. Someone's taking a destroyer off the top of the cage. Oh my god! It's got to happen, right? Like if you have Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson in the same ring together, one of them's taking a destroyer. I think it's got to happen, right? What's going to be the big off the cage spot? It's got to be a fucking destroyer.
If they can do that, I mean, I've got that spot of the year shooty right there. You can almost like you can almost pencil it in. Whatever these guys do off the top. Spot of the year written all over it. And just another dude, every single time these guys fight, it's hilariously fun. And I expect no different this week. I expect no different this time. I agree. After that, though, the crowd's going to be so hot. It's going to be such a fun match. We're going to need to cool down for a second. Let people go grab a drink. So this is when we have Paul White taking on QT Marshall with all his little factory buddies.
Yeah, let's just assume Paul White, maybe Cody makes a save at one point.
Yeah, Cody makes a save. Maybe someone else shows up. Who knows?
Yeah, I think.
Like I said,
Cody's been off television since the Malachi Black thing. Hey, maybe this is where Malachi Black comes back into the fold. Give Cody, give him a little pop. Take down QT Marshall and the rest of them. Easy.
Yeah. Either way, filler match. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Then we get to the big three final matches here. We got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending that women's title against Chris Statlander, who, great competitor, but I feel like they really haven't built her up too much towards this, as a credible challenger, even though she is top ranked. She doesn't really talk much. It's mostly been Britt carrying the feud.
Mm-hmm. And with the addition of Jamie Hayter and, of course, Rebel always on the wings there, this leads another opportunity for a new star to come in and make that babyface save. Like we had just mentioned with the Inspiration and Ruby Riott.
Yeah, could be one of them.
Because eventually, if we find ourselves close to that 3-on-1 beatdown, that's the moment. That's the moment where a Ruby Riott type could come in, make that big babyface save, and then be that next challenger for Full Gear.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. But either way, I expect a good match from these two.
Yes, two of the stronger performers in the division. They'll give it to us.
Mm-hmm. Then we get Kenny Omega defending that AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Christian Cage. I thought they might have thrown in winner take all, just so you can throw that Impact title in there as well, but whatever. I think Christian will put up a great fight, have a couple big moments, but come up short. Kenny gets the win.
Kenny's got to get the win, mainly because Sunday will tie him with Jon Moxley for that longest AEW World Championship title reign. He needs to make it to Monday so he can be in sole possession of that record. So let's give it to him. I still think we're holding out for Hangman Page down the road.
Yeah, that's the one that everyone wants to see.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got all that history, all that story built in, so let's do it. But let's go to the main event, the last match on the card. Not for any title, but it doesn't matter because we're in Chicago. This is the historic, heroic return to the ring for CM Punk as he takes on Darby Allin. And I just expect the first 5 minutes of this match to just be deafening. The crowd's just going to be roaring. And then, they'll go 20, 25 minutes, have a great back and forth. Punk will probably win, but I wouldn't even be shocked if he lost to Darby in his big return. But I don't expect it.
Yeah, well, you are certainly right that this will be the main event. I mean, this has been something the wrestling world's been waiting for nigh a decade now. And this is it, and like you just kind of followed up with that, I would not be surprised if Darby Allin won. It's, for CM Punk to come in and talk about wanting to work with fun, exciting talent who loves the business and then go over, almost like almost contradicts what he's saying, right? Almost, but for him to come back and, the young people back in that locker room who have the same energy and enthusiasm that I did when I entered the business, and then put the other guy over. Either way, really, really looking forward to this match. I think everybody is. The entire professional wrestling world is ready for CM Punk's big return.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be hot, hot, hot. And there's still one other thing because, Punk himself dropped the tease a week ago on Dynamite. And if there's a time for him to show up, it's probably at the end of the show. So no matter who wins one way or the other, I think at the end of all this, we're going to see Bryan Danielson come out and probably fight with CM Punk or something. But just show up in Summer Guards.
So yes, how does Bryan Danielson fit into all of this? Yeah, you're exactly right. How does it's someone else's shtick, and we've been waiting a little. We've been being a little more patient, just like Punk told us to be. I see if that's happening. I would rather Daniel Bryan show up after the Christian Cage Kenny Omega match. I mean, I think
that's fine as well.
If there's Kenny Omega, his entire championship reign has touted being this world traveler champion all over the planet, all over the world. And I think that Daniel Bryan's the one who has the right to stake that. Like, hey, before you were doing that, I was doing that, my guy. He was the multiple. He was the champion in Japan. He was the champion in the United States. He was the champion in the UK. And I think that's the fresher feud for AEW's purposes. I would worry Daniel Bryan CM Punk would almost be this, wouldn't land as hard just because it's an AEW, not WWE. That make sense?
No, in terms of the matchup, yeah. But I just feel like if Daniel Bryan is going to come out, they don't want to do it before Punk. They want to get that whole, don't take any of the wind out of the sails with the big Punk match. I think Bryan would return at the very, very end.
Yeah. Either way,
but who knows?
He's come. Either way,
he might.
He might not even be there, and that was just a total fucking swerve. We gotta wait until Kenny Omega starts wearing shirts that kind of lead us to believe that he's coming over.
Yeah.
Someone or like a Bay thing or a or a Bray Wyatt thing. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
God. Either way, All Out finds a way to keep topping itself every single year. And this is no exception.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It should be a damn fun show.
Well, let's finish off the show then, shall we? Let's get into our final segment of the day. It's the Wrestler of the Week.
With the Wrestler of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week.
My Wrestler of the Week, I gotta give it to. This was a tough one. I really didn't feel like there was much wrestling this week on the shows for whatever reason. But I'm gonna give my Wrestler of the Week to Damian Priest. Probably my favorite performance of his since coming, to the main roster, and even his NXT run, he was there, but I don't think he ever did anything for me personally that was as good as whatever he just did. So I got to give it to Damian Priest.
Yeah, I too give it to Damian Priest this week. Kind of the highlight of Monday Night Raw, a show that has a lot of low lights, so it's always nice to have a guy like him have a good episode like that.
It's great to see a highlight on a show full of low lights.
Yeah. I'll give an honorable mention to Mandy Rose for taking that drop kick so well once again.
I was going to give an honorable mention to Charlotte
really
just for everything, just for everything that happened there, for whatever the fuck happened there. And that was the whole podcast, folks. Thanks for listening. Rate Review Live show is everywhere, and gosh, watch out this weekend because it could change the game even more than the game has already been changed.
It's going to be the talk of the town on your long Labor Day weekend. You got the Monday off, folks, some of you. So enjoy it. Stay up late, watch some wrestling.
And then take the whole day to mentally get over whatever has happened at the show. Because we know it's going to be a big one, folks. Thanks for listening. Mike, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, have a good time.
Shoot.